UWW-TV, your home for Warhawk Athletics.
Tamir Thomas, house call on the first play of the drive.
Corralo with the interception at the buzzer. It's in! It's in!
That one's back towards left field. Gone! Ryan Norton goes yard.
Scores, highlights, analysis, and accolades. This is Warhawk Sports Central.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Warhawk Sports Central on UWW-TV, your home for Whitewater sports coverage. We're glad you could join us tonight. I'm Alex Lazzarini, alongside Chris Pittner. We will be joined very shortly by the Insider. On today's episode, we will discuss Warhawk Baseball's weekend homestand, Whitewater Track and Field, the impact of sports medicine on our athletic programs, and Warhawk softball's toughest stretch of the season. We begin today's report with Warhawk Baseball. This past weekend, UW-Whitewater Baseball hosted a 4-game series with the UW-Oshkosh Titans. The series that was originally scheduled to be back-to-back doubleheaders had one half of the series pushed back to Monday due to Sunday's weather conditions. Whitewater nearly finished a sweep of the Titans this weekend, beating UW-Oshkosh in both of Saturday's games and splitting Monday's doubleheader at Pruka Field. The second game on Saturday's slate was capped off by a walk-off home run courtesy of freshman Dominic McVeigh. Each of UW-Whitewater's next 12 games will be on the road against WEAC foes. So, Chris, what are some major takeaways from this weekend of Warhawk Baseball?
Well, unfortunately for the team, Laz, their 16-game win streak did come to an end today here. They lost to UW-Oshkosh, but they did take 3 out of the 4 games, and UW-Oshkosh is a great team. They were receiving votes in the Division III Baseball Top 25, and they looked very good against that team. Someone that definitely stuck out to me throughout the whole weekend was Danny Hopper. He just had great game after great game, and Eli Frank was also incredible, both on the mound and beyond, or in the batter's box.
Yeah, I mean, in the first game, they kind of looked a little slow, got off to a slow start. It was actually Danny Hopper who hit an RBI double to get the Warhawks ahead on the league, and I think that's really what gave them the confidence, the momentum to keep going.
The team also finished on a high note in their final game of the second doubleheader. They actually mercy ruled Oshkosh in 7 innings. They scored 6 runs in the first inning, and that just propelled them to a huge 12-2 win. Michael Hilker Jr. was nearly unhittable again on the mound, only giving up 2 earned runs in a 7-inning effort.
Yeah, great pitching all around from the Warhawks. Also, Matt Skolin is another player to be named. Came to the plate with a base-clearing double to take the lead against Oshkosh 5-2. So just big-name players stepping up to the plate, making these plays to keep their season alive. And I know they did only just lose 1 game, but looking forward, I think nobody, should be a problem for them except Platteville, who we will see next week, and Eau Claire. What are your thoughts on those games?
I really think against Eau Claire, they've really struggled to start the season in WEAC play. I really think the Warhawks should be able to take care of them. Platteville could be a little tougher because they were able to take a game from UW La Crosse in their previous series against them, and UW La Crosse is no pushover of a team. They're actually ranked higher than the Warhawks in the current Division III baseball poll. And last year, they actually swept the Warhawks here at Pruka Field, but this is a lot of the same team for the Warhawks, and you mentioned Dominic McVeigh. He's definitely someone who's really stepped up to the plate so far this year for the Warhawks, as he hit that game-winning home run, or the walk-off, in the 9th inning of that game.
Right, and looking ahead, La Crosse is actually ranked over us, even though UW-Whitewater does have the better standings, or the better record, What are your thoughts on that?
I think a lot of that just has to go down to past resume a little bit. UW La Crosse just was absolutely dominant last year, and the Warhawks had a bit of a down season compared to what we're used to seeing from them. They're going for their 22nd WEAC regular season championship this year. That definitely isn't by accident, and actually in the final game of the doubleheader, head coach John Vodenwich won his 700th career game, Alex.
We will bring in the Insider here to talk to us about UW-Whitewater's continued success in outdoor track and field when we return to Warhawk Sports Central.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Your home for excellence in action. The WIAC Network. Watch and download here.
Matt checking in to see how Sam is doing on his project. And it's getting close to exporting now, the final step in the process. And it is complete, and Sam is hyped. Finally gets complete and spikes the ball into the end zone. Sam's celebrating with his colleagues, and they throw a flag on the play. The ref's going to call excessive celebration. Sam is in disbelief and can't believe it. He tries to dispute the call, but the ref is not having any of it.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Central on UWW-TV. Whitewater Track and Field hosted their first outdoor meet of the spring season. The Rex Foster Twilight Invitational saw the Warhawks compete against an assortment of teams from across Wisconsin on a windy day at the Rex Foster track. The Warhawks finished with their highest team scores as they continue to compete at a high level. Here with more insight on the Rex Foster Twilight track meet is the insider Austin Smith. Austin, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the outdoor season for track and field has officially arrived as both the men's and women's teams kicked off their hosting season on Friday with the Rex Foster Twilight meet here in Whitewater. There were 4 teams that participated in the event, which included Whitewater, UW Stevens Point, UW Parkside, and MSOE. The Warhawks were on top of the leaderboards all day as both the men and women won the event. On the men's side, they collected a total of 7 first-place finishes along with another handful of runner-ups. Some of the highlights include Marlon Sistrunk and Tamir Thomas finishing first and second in the 100-meter hurdles, while both posting a top 25 time in all of Division III this season. Christian Patska won the 1500, and in the field, juniors Tyler Jensen and Sean Larson won the discus and hammer throws respectively. Shelvin Garrett II won the triple jump in his signature event. Garrett looks to continue dominance in that event after becoming the indoor national champion for it earlier this year. Moving on to the women's team, they also won a total of 7 events, including 4 of the 8 field events. Junior Kenny Zarnecki won the hammer throw and was a runner-up in the discus. Gracie Holland also dominated in the long jump and the pole vault, winning by nearly half a meter in each event. The Warhawks also took 3 of the top 4 spots in the 100-meter dash, led by Tina Shelton, who won the event. Shelton was also a member of the first-place 4x100-meter relay team. Other winners for Whitewater were Ari De La Cerda in the 1500 and Bryn Furstenberg in the high jump. Overall, the Warhawks had a very successful first meet in the outdoor season as both the men and women defended Hope Field to take home the win in the quad meet. The men's team currently ranks 46th in the U.S. Division III track and field polls, whereas the women's team now climbs up to 21st in Division III.
Yeah, great stuff from Austin here. So watching this track team, what is the Warhawks track and field ceiling for this season?
Well, they competed very well in the indoor season. I think if they continue to build off this, the men's team, I believe they got 4th in the national championship for the indoor. I think they can climb to a top 2 or 3 finish. Whereas the women's team, I believe, got 20th. I think they can climb to a top 15 to 10 finish in the outdoor season as long as they continue to build off their success.
Austin, Christian Patska dominated the 1500 once again. What's his impact been on this team through the years that he's been a member of the UW Whitewater track team?
Yeah, he really just leads by example with the team. He takes first in a lot of events. He didn't even run the 5,000 meter on Saturday, where he won the national championship for that event in the indoor track meet. He dominates in the 1500 and the 5,000 and really just sets a great example for the rest of the team.
Has this move from indoor to outdoor track affected this Warhawks team, whether if it's for better or for worse?
Well, we just had one event this week, and it's hard to say now until we see a couple more outdoor events, but as of now, it looks like the Whitewater track team is continuing to build off their indoor season success.
Austin, the 100-meter dash team did phenomenal this weekend. How did that look for you?
Yeah, so Whitewater swept 2nd through 7th place in the 100-meter dash. Andy Van Zyl got 2nd. The only place that they didn't get was 1st and swept 2nd through 7th.
Thank you for that report, Austin. Whitewater Track and Field will be competing once again this Saturday at the UW-Platteville Invitational. Coming up after the break, UWW-TV's AJ Kober spoke with UW-Whitewater's Director of Sports Medicine, Steve Hilmer, about his position in athletics and the work that comes with it. We'll be right back here on Warhawk Sports Central right after this.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a Warhawk. Come on! Don't miss out on your chance to be a Warhawk
at UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you gotta see what's on UWW-TV.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on!
Accepted anyways. Oh, she got that off, and they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today. Welcome to this week's edition of Inside Warhawk Sports on UWW TV. I'm your host, AJ Kober, joined by Warhawk Director of Sports Medicine, Stephen Hilmer. Mr. Hilmer, sports medicine is a branch of medicine that studies physical fitness and treatment of injuries. What does that look like on the campus of UW-Whitewater?
Sports medicine here at UW-Whitewater is kind of a combination of our team physicians who kind of work through Mercy Health and our 5 athletic trainers that kind of work through the athletic department and with Mercy Health. So the 5 athletic trainers are kind of the day-to-day kind of people that kind of help provide athletic care for our student athletes. You know, they evaluate injuries, illnesses, kind of that return to rehab, return to play criteria, and as necessary kind of refer to our physicians and kind of utilize them and their expertise when needed.
You are a licensed athletic trainer and a certified member of the National Athletic Trainers Association. What is that process like?
When I went through kind of the education process, it was an internship route. It has changed now to a master's level program. So now, in order to sit for the national exam through the Board of Certification, one has to complete a master's level program, which is a 2-year process after obviously your undergraduate. So you kind of learn kind of everything you need to be kind of an entry-level athletic trainer. Then you're eligible to sit for the national exam. After you pass the national exam, you can call yourself an athletic trainer, which is regulated or licensed in 49 out of 50 states. California, as usual, kind of the outlier that has no regulations for athletic training. And then, that's for the entry level, kind of athletic trainer. And then each 2-year cycle, we're required to do some continued education credits. So 50 hours every 2 years to kind of maintain our certification.
The sports medicine staff come from various backgrounds and experiences. How have the staff contribute their experiences to help the students with treatment?
I'm a smart person, but, I'm smart because I hire people that are smarter than me. Obviously, we have a great staff of, Emma Kopp, Whitney Williams, Kelly Loudon, and Hono Aranda. Some of them have been here for 7 years this is their first year. So it's a great mix of, people that are newer to the profession, which, allows us to kind of help them and kind of guide them, with some experience of, that Emma and Whitney bring, allows us to provide a high level of care. So typically, each one of those athletic trainers is kind of assigned to a certain sport as the primary contact. So we kind of divide sports up that way. But ultimately, our job is to provide, that health care for all of our student athletes. So even if it's someone that, is not an assigned sport, we all kind of share the load and try to make sure that, our student athletes are able to, participate safely and effectively.
Thank you again to AJ Kober and Josh Jacoby for another great episode of Inside Warhawk Sports. The UW-Whitewater community appreciates our athletic trainers and our medical professionals' hard work and commitment to the student athletes here on campus. So a lot of great stuff. Chris, what stuck out to you about this week's episode?
I think just the dedication that the program puts into making sure that our athletes stay healthy. I mean, obviously, as you probably know, it's really important for all of these teams that are contending for national championships here on campus to just stay as healthy as possible and have their players on the field or the court or wherever else they perform at, just having them available and just ready to perform.
Right, and it's not an easy task. I mean, especially if it's a more serious injury, it takes months of just physical therapy and working to get that whatever, so let's say it was a knee, let's say it takes months physical therapy to get that knee healthy again. And then when you do come back, you're playing on limited time, you're doing a lot less than what you used to do. But our great physical therapists here really do help out, and they really do care, and they put in so much time and effort so that our sports teams can have more and more success. And I think that they have a lot of influence on how much success we do have here as a school.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the best ability is availability. And it's been pretty clear through the years that especially our football team, which is one of the most high-contact sports of all of them, they've been able to stay healthy through all of these years and just have their team be as competitive as possible by having their best players on the field. And I know creating rehab programs and stuff like that for when players do get injured is tough, but it's pretty clear that they know what they're doing and they're able to tailor programs individually for each individual injury. And they're just able to make great programs, and get everyone back on the field as quickly as possible.
We will discuss UW Whitewater softball weekend in Bloomington, Illinois, and what we learned about this Warhawks team when we return to Warhawk Sports Central.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
The Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. We're here to compete, to inspire, to grow, and to make history. We are rooted in tradition. For over a century, we have contended as the premier conference within Division III.
I shot the
ball! We are united throughout Wisconsin. All 8 of our full-time member institutions are based in our great state. But although Wisconsin is our home, our impact reverberates across the entire nation, crowning 180 national team championships and counting. Our mission is to shape student athletes who excel academically and athletically, equipped to become leaders in life. We are here to build on our enduring legacy and move boldly forward into the future. We are the WIAC, Excellence in Action.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories. Even the night before, I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW TV.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Central. Warhawk softball's perfect season ends at game number 14. Game 1 last Saturday saw UW Whitewater win a nail-biter against Illinois Wesleyan, but Game 2 saw the Warhawks lose for the first time this season at the hands of DePauw. The Warhawks were supposed to play both the Titans and the Tigers again on Sunday, but the weather canceled both games, which will not be rescheduled. Maddie Anderson moved to a 4-0 record on the season in an 8-strikeout, 2-hit complete game performance for Whitewater. The Warhawks' best performer in the second game was Grace Wickman, who went 3 for 4 at the plate and drove in 2 runs in the loss to DePauw. The Warhawks now sit at 13-1 on the season, with the beginning of the conference play on the horizon. So, Chris, looking back, what do you think led to this first loss of the season?
I think a lot of it just came down to the fact that Brooke Hawk just had a bit of an off day on the mound. she was not her usual self out there. She just really struggled to get batters out, in all honesty. I mean, she pitched the majority of that game. Rhiann Dick actually started it, but Brooke Hawk just had a bit more trouble than she usually does getting batters out. But her ERA still does sit under 1 on the season, and she joins Maddie Anderson in that regard, who had, as you mentioned, that incredible performance against Illinois Wesleyan, where they won the pitchers duel 1-0, which was really incredible. And in the DePauw game, they just didn't put as many runs on the board as DePauw did. DePauw put 9 runs up on the board, and it's really hard to win when you're giving up 9 runs.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say also how the Warhawks offense came out a little slow. I know against DePauw, both teams kind of came out slow. It was 2-0, then 2-1, and it just kept going back and forth for a while until DePauw started just scoring more and more. This Warhawks team, if they want to keep their success, they're going to have to score more, and they're going to have to shut out these teams who can compete and who can put up 9 runs on you.
Yeah, they've had a couple of closer games this year. I mean, just throughout their season, it feels like they've almost dodged a bullet a couple of times, but they do have a lot of just dynamic players like Grace Wickman, how you mentioned, Kiera Kostrowski, and Taylor Kohler are all incredible in the batter's box, and they can make a play out of nothing.
So coming up next, we play Stout. Do you have any thoughts on that game?
I mean, I feel like this team's just been so incredible to start this year. Obviously, they had that loss, but I feel like they're probably going to take care of business.
Each of Saturday's softball games against the UW Stout Blue Devils will be broadcast live on UWW-TV, with pregame coverage beginning 10 minutes prior to the first pitch in each game. Thank you for tuning in to Warhawk Sports Central. Be sure to check out uwwtv.org for more sports, news, and other entertainment programming. From our insider Austin Smith, Chris Pittner, and our entire studio crew, I'm Alex Lazzarini saying goodnight from UWW-TV's Conover studio. We'll be back with more coverage of UW Whitewater Athletics next time on Warhawk Sports Central.